audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build the website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
Your audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build the website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
Ali versus Frazier, DC versus Marvel, religion versus science, Sega Genesis versus Super Nintendo. Great rivalries indeed. From the Precision Racing League, add to that list Benjamin Perez versus Christian Eisler. As the sun titanics into a New York State sky, it's time for the HFD1 Motorsports Challenge at the Glen, round 7 of 10 on the American iRacing Tuesday Series Season 12 schedule. And it all can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Hello and welcome to GSRC. It's Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Bill Soup Zahn, joined way up in the broadcast booth to bring you our bird's eye view by Sean Crackers Ambrose. The hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, Joe Peak, is our director, armed with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over these 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will give you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 60 minutes of simulated GTE, Ferrari, and Ford action that will immediately follow as we count down to green for the American iRacing Tuesday Series HFD1 Motorsports Challenge at the Glen. After a round 6 at Silverstone, where Benjamin Perez reminded everyone why he is the defending champion, Sean, the series returns to the States for round 7.
How you doing? Located Watkins Glen, New York, at the southern tip of Seneca Lake. You know, when they first got started here, the races happened on public roads in the village. It was really exciting, and it was kind of dangerous. But in 1956, they opened a permanent circuit. A lot of work went into that. Over the years, it didn't change much, a few times. Now, the current layout was erected in 1971 and hasn't changed since then. Now, the track's history isn't limited to racing. The circuit has also been the site of many music concerts over the years, and state fair they've had there, and a lot of club racing, very, very accessible to the public. These grounds quite historic. And today, it's all about the racing, though, where the drivers will need to negotiate all 11 corners over 3.36 miles of asphalt and concrete. But the best way to get an idea what it's like to really go around this place is jump on board for a GSRC lap guide.
All right, we've got Amjad Yaman in the GSRC BMW, so let's do a lap around Watkins Glen. Coming down to turn 1, you can brake pretty late in the Z4, but it's also downhill, so be careful not to overshoot it. Even with all the paved runoff to the outside, you need a huge head of steam for the long climb uphill to the backstretch. The S's in these GT3 cars are easily flat out, although I wouldn't advise trying to take them too wide. It gets very narrow at some points along here, and there's no place to hide if a wreck erupts. Once we reach the top, it's now a straight shot until we brake for the inner loop. This is going to be a very popular place for passes, both with the draft and the heavy braking for the chicane. But if you enter side by side, don't expect things to end well. The gravel won't slow you down very much before you reach the Armco. From there, it's a quick flick down into the carousel. Let the car roll through and gently bring it back to the power once you know it won't push too wide. After that, you'll switch sides to line up for the chute. You've got to be accurate turning in, or else the car will want to wash out wide, and there's not a whole lot of space to save it from the barriers. Bring the car over to the left, and now we're finally at the bottom of the hill with the toe of the boot. This is another spot where overtakes might occur, but you really won't want to worry about the entry as much as the exit. The steep uphill climb puts a premium both on momentum and the ability to get on the power early. Anyone behind you with a better run is likely to have another go at you when you brake for the heel of the boot. Also, make sure to watch out for these curves on the inside because they can pretty easily unsettle the car. After that, we head back onto the main course, but this left-hander will catch you out if you aren't used to its off-camber nature. It's certain to frustrate drivers who haven't sussed out the line. From there, we have a short blast to Indianapolis. It'll be important to tuck into the groove so that you can really carry your speed. Then, it's on to the final corner where it feels more like a street course with that tire barrier just waiting on the outside. Getting greedy may cost you the race, so heads up. Hopefully, you've kept it out of there, and as we come to the line, we finished a lap around Watkins Glen.
GSRC's own Joe Peak doing what nobody does better, and that's talking you around a lap, this time at Watkins Glen. And remember, that video lap, as well as everything else on today's broadcast, is made possible thanks to our race sponsor, HFD1 Motorsports, powered by Kenny Duvall and Kelly Thornton. HFD1 had a respectable race last time out, finished 4th on the day at Silverstone. led by Duval's 7th place finish. The team remains in 7th in the team championship. Make sure that you like their Facebook page. Now let's go ahead and take a look at all the standings. Let's start with the Drivers' Championship. Now be aware these points take into account the single drop race the rules allow for. The single droplet by each driver's name represents that driver's dropped race total. Perez leads by 3 in the raw points, but when the drop race is subtracted, SDS Racing's Blues Christian Eisler trails by only 1 point to the defending champion Benjamin Perez as the two drivers swap positions. Juan Landini for SDS Racing Black was 5th at Silverstone. Sergio Maujo, the Asturias World Team, was 3rd, so the gap closes for the final podium spot. HDF1 Motorsports' Kenny Duval gets the nod over Jean Carini for SDS Racing Red thanks to a tiebreaker in the top 5 categories. Let's go ahead and look at the team champions where Christian Eisler and Francisco Montini are by far the strongest duo as SDS Racing Blue is well out in front. Danny Duchesne and Guillaume Dupont keep Quebec Power Racing as the best of the rest, but only by a pair of points over Asturias World Team powered by Sergio Pismaujo and Moises Labato. SDS Racing Black returns to the overlay. Juan Landini and Sebastian Maciera doing the work there. WERA BBS Racing, once tied for 3rd, now sits in 5th. Gary Schilling and Richie Pettinger trying to stop the bleeding as they continue to drift almost off the overlay. So we talked about the track, gone over the points. How about, Sean, we look at the race details?
Let's do it, Soup. Season 12 here. Today it's round 7 of 10. And we do have the Ferrari 488 out here and the Ford GT, the 2017 GT model. And the race distance today, 60 minutes, Soup. We're going to go. It's going to require 1 pit stop. And they won't have enough fuel in the car to make it a full 60 minutes. So what does that mean? Well, we have a setup, and it's open. The drivers are free to make the changes necessary on these cars. You may see some fuel saving as they will be able to map out their fuel strategy. They have several options available to them on their wheel, and they can change how much fuel the car is actually using, creating either more speed or less. So we'll see if anybody tries to maybe take it a little deep into the run here today, but we'll see. Incident cap 40. I think you're going to be safe at Watkins Glen. Now, one never knows how much trouble you can get into, but here at the Glen, I think we'll be in good shape. The fast repairs, well, it basically means you've got 1 car as a spare to take off the truck and get into should you need it today here at Watkins Glen. You can definitely get into trouble here, and there's a couple of really, really tricky turns, such as the chute and turn 9, where you can get yourself in trouble and cause heavy damage to the car. But hopefully, most of the drivers today will be able to keep it clean and green all the way to the checkered flag.
And Sean, they're racing for pride, but they're also racing for some prizes as well.
Yes, they are, and there are some nice prizes the drivers are competing for, courtesy of Apex Button Box. And the winner of the series will be awarded a 16-function button box, courtesy of Apex Button Box. Affordable, reliable button boxes for those who don't have the time or the material to make their own. Visit them at facebook.com/Apex Button Box. And also, Transdo Transport, sponsoring the Transdo Cup. The driver with the fewest incidents at the end of the season will get $75. Folks, visit Transdo Transport at transdo.ca/home.
There you go. Some great prizes to compete for. And now qualifying is going on. Sean, we talk about this almost every time we do one of these races. Not often that we get to have open qualifying where all the cars are out there at the same time. They have just a few minutes left. And look who's sitting at the very top.
Yeah, look at that. Christian Eisler, the Iceman there. He is already really setting the pace. And honestly, the top of this leaderboard right now in qualifying belongs to most of the Europeans. Benjamin Perez and Kenny Duval look to be the only 2 drivers in the top 10 right now that are from the United States.
And qualifying, well, it's obviously important because as we talk about Eisler and Perez, you want to start ahead of your nearest rival, but also with the race being so incredibly close. Bonus points could actually be what determines the championship here, and you get one for being on pole, as well as being clean all the way through. So all sorts of things to watch out for.
Indeed, Soup. And boy, I'll tell you what, this looking at the times here in qualifying, we've got a very, very tight field. Yeah, definitely. And really tight in the top 10. And actually just behind the top 10, it gets even tighter. 11th back through, it looks to be about 20th. Another tight grouping, all separated within about a full 8 to 9 tenths of a second. So this is going to be an interesting start when we get going for that first right-hander they call the 90 at the drop of the green flag.
We talked about that team championship as we're looking at Christian Eisler right there. He's racing for SDS Racing Blue. Well, his partner is Francisco Montini. Now, Montini's a part-timer, not putting in a full season. But right now, Francisco sits in third, so that blue team doing really well. Another driver to watch for. We talk about him all the time. He is really quick. Almost as fast, Sean, as Eisler and Perez. And that's Sergio Maujo. We've seen him race up there with those guys. He tried to hang with them last couple rounds.
Yeah, you know what? And listen, Maujo's right there on the edge. You just said it, Sue. This could be his day. You never know. Sometimes you can feel it when you get in the seat. You think, okay, this is it. I feel it today. Maybe this is the day for Maujo. Awful quick in practice, and a really strong qualifying effort right now in the second row.
Pretty strong field here, big field of 27. Just goes to show how healthy the series is when we are so close to the end, and they're still getting nice quality fields, 27. Sean, with that many, will lap traffic will maybe become an issue with the 60-minute race?
Yeah, I think it's most definitely going to be an issue, Soup, and this track not too bad to pass on because you do have that long back straight in the inner loop, but the toe down to the heel is a really, really another good overtaking opportunity as you go uphill and through the boot and then down to the heel. Of course, down the front straight into the 90. There's several different lines you can take through the 90 there. So I like this for overtaking today. I think it will be okay as far as the traffic goes. There's plenty of good opportunities to pass here, and as long as you watch yourself, you'll stay out of trouble.
Going to be plenty of good racing all the way through the field. Don't mean to focus up top, but with Eisler and Perez being so closely matched skill-wise and talent-wise, how they negotiate the back markers could be the determining factor of who actually wins this race. Not only how they negotiate the back markers, but how the back markers negotiate letting the leaders by. But like you said, I've raced here a lot at this configuration of Watkins Glen. As a back marker, this one, if you play your cards right, you should be able to stay out of trouble.
Yeah, the one danger spot for everybody, Soup, the S's. It's so incredibly tricky through there.
Yep.
And you find guys who think maybe they can overtake through there, and then they realize, unfortunately, you don't realize until it's too late. You're up in the middle of those S's, and then you find yourself side by side with somebody, and that's where things generally go wrong.
And from a backmarker's perspective, here's the deal through there. If you're asking me as a backmarker to race offline, something I haven't practiced through that section, you're putting yourself, both of us, in danger because I can't guarantee that I'm going to be able to do that effectively. So really, just come on. It's the only place on the track where you got to wait a little bit as qualifying is just about done. Look at that beautiful shot from the blimp. That shows you, boy, Sean, you can this see the 600,000 fans that were there for Summer Jam back in 1973. You can just imagine them in there looking to see the Allman Brothers or the band or the Grateful Dead. I can almost hear the music echoing up here to the blimp.
It still reverberates through the mountains here, Sue, and I can almost hear it too.
Qualifying is over. Let's go ahead. There's a pace lap. Let's go ahead and run down your grid right now. And sure enough, it is the top two in the standings. Christian Eisler, the Iceman, got the nod. He'll get the bonus point for being on pole. Sean, Benjamin Perez sits outside him in the second spot.
All right, row two, going to be Francisco Montini. And Sergio Maujo will start fourth.
Eddie Duval, one of the sponsors of this race, sits in fifth. He's going to be inside of Sebastian Maciera.
All right, and then we've got Juan Manuel Landini will start seventh. Fernando Rodriguez will start eighth.
John Carini in ninth position. Rounding out your top 10, Moises Lobato.
All right, and we'll go to the sixth row here, and it's going to be Eric Luke and James LeBlanc.
In the Baker's Dozen spot, it's Guillaume Dupont. He's going to be inside of Matthew Frawley in 14th.
All right, row 8, Lucio Vargas and Danny Duchesne will start 16th today in his Ford GT.
17th and 18th, Hugo Gaius and Tyler Gore.
Oh, I missed my button there. Soup, sorry. Richie Pittenger. Here, row 10, Mitchie Pittenger and Mark File.
I figured you knew when it was your turn there. Got to press to talk, Sean. We'll work on that. It's one of the technicalities we need to work on. Hidden Blackjack, it is Sean Kenning. Richard Colomb outside him in the double duck spot.
All right, and Gary Schilling will start 23rd, right with Chris Rode in 24th.
In the quarter century mark, it is Kelly Thornton. He's going to be inside of Matthew Cisna, who's flying in 26th. And the last car out there, Ralph Connor Jr. in 27th. All 27 cars have gridded up under the late afternoon sun here in New York. What's the weather look like, Sean?
Soup, we had the weather up just a few minutes ago, and it was 96 degrees on track. Ouch, that's a little warm and sure to go up a little bit as the race goes on. Not a whole lot of wind out here today, only about 5 miles an hour. There we go. It's gusting at 8 right now out of for the west, but air temperature 69 degrees. So not a bad day. Again, the sun concerns me a little bit. This late afternoon sun and the heat on the track, but pretty good grip on these cars, Soup. They should be okay. Now, as they get deep into the run, I expect the tires to fall off some. This is a high-speed circuit. Sure to take its toll on those tires today.
69 degrees is the air temperature, and the track temperature up almost 30 degrees over that. It's a good thing we do have that low sun that is not pounding down directly onto the surface, or it'd be even warmer than it is. I don't expect with the 60-minute race anybody is going to be able to afford to take tires. We'll see if that's the case. Look at them now as they work through the inner loop. This is one of the new sections that was added recently to slow the cars down as they head down into the carousel. Sean, without that inner loop, it's frightening going into corner number 5 if your brakes give out on you.
It really is. That carousel, very tricky to navigate at full speed as you're heading down in there. But the inner loop certainly straightens things out. You know, I was in the Ford GT earlier. You're in 4th gear through that inner loop. You might flip it to 3rd just for a little bit of grip and then back up to 4th as soon as you exit there. But a lot of speed through the inner loop in these cars, and they can clatter over those curbs just a bit without upsetting the car. So it shouldn't take a whole lot of time to get through there. If it does, you are sure to drop positions.
They work through the toe now. This is the section of the boot. As they come around here, then they get down between 7 and 8. I like to call it the sole. Our director will tell me if there's actually a name between the section between 7 and 8, and he says nothing. So we're going with the sole here. Sean, you said you were out there in the Ford. That's a good thing because the Ford's not getting a lot of love. Duchesne usually in the Ford. Do we have another one out here? I don't think so.
Yeah, we've got Matthew Cisna and Ralph Connor both in Ford GTs. But it'll be Duchesne right now, the highest one up the field.
Now they come up into 9. This is a scary corner. It kind of fades away on you. The wall is close. Man, you want to get a good exit out of here. This is a tough one.
Well, and that's the exit. That's the problem. That's where everybody messes it up. You wind up spinning the car around, and, well, as you can see, there's really no room to the left or the right once you get inside those Armco barriers there, and you usually wind up bidding it in one of them.
All right. You're watching the Precision Racing League. This is the American iRacing Tuesday Series, round number 7 of 10. As the leaders work their way through the final corner, we're ready to get underway. And it's all the control now goes to the Iceman, Christian Eisler. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows because the horses are out of the barn. And sure enough, it is Eisler leading them down. But look at this, tucking to the inside. Kenny Duvall taking a peek in there, not going to be able to do it. Perez takes over 2nd position, making some move on the outside. It's the man we've been saying to watch out for, Sergio Maujo. He moves up into 3rd. Duvall drives back and forth, Maciera in 5th. And somewhere we lost the 3rd position. The P3 driver is gone. That would be Francisco Montini.
Yep, you know what, Soup, he had lost connection just before the drop of the green flag. He was reconnected.
And DuPont spins in the back. He gets into Frawley, and then it's an octopus putting on socks after that. Gaia is involved in it.
Tyler Gore was another car that got into that also, Soup. That was a big mess.
Chris Fender Road involved as well. We'll come back and take a look at that one. We do that now. It all started with DuPont.
Oh, and Fernando Rodriguez has had a problem. He's dropping through the field.
There you can see the replay. DuPont, the McDonald's car comes around. Some first lap attrition.
Wow.
Chris Rhodes, after that incident, he had a spin and nosed it into the wall. I think his day's going to be, well, not done, as they do have a fast repair, but he'll be out of the running. As we look at the leaders now, working their way, finishing up the first lap. It's Eisler, Perez, Maujo. Those are three names we see up front a lot. Duval in fourth, Maciera in fifth.
Boy, that was crazy, Soup. Not quite the start I expected there.
Okay, there as we see a little bit of jumping. That's just some connection problems. Don't worry about that. Everybody's still racing fine. But look at this battle for first. Here comes Perez. My goodness. He is on the Iceman like a postage stamp, looking for somewhere to go. He's got a good run. Which line is Eisler going to take? He's going to take his half out of the middle. Now he drifts over to the left, leaving the inside open as they go through the inner loop. Watch the exit out of there. Perez gets a good run. They hold station.
Yeah, that top five off to a really, really good start. Juan Manuel Landini just behind him, but starting to lose him just a bit here.
Not sure if Landini has the legs to run him down. He qualified seventh. He's up a spot, trying to get back in behind Maciera. The interval is about 1.7 seconds. And the way that the front five are just putting down the laps right now. Boy, look at that. They are all about the same interval, those front five, as they come right at you.
Pittenger, Fraley fighting for 13th. They're in the sole. Heading to the heel. And it was Pittenger getting by Fraley. Fraley had the spot. Or I'm sorry, Pittenger had the spot. Fraley took it away, and then Pittenger got it back.
As is so often the case, if you've been watching this series, the modus operandi is that the front guys know how to race. There's not a lot of action early on. They try to distance themselves from the back. All the action that we've had in the past few races are been the mid-packers. Those are the guys who put on the show until the end. Right now, let's look at eighth. This is LeBlanc trying to make a move here on Eric Luke. Doesn't get that done. Duchesne back there in the Ford running in 10th position. Lobato back in 11th. I keep one eye on that battle, one eye at the front. They work through the inner loop right now, no change. Look at Luke in 8th. There's the yellow car peeking out.
Yeah, that's Pittenger and Friday still back there going at it.
In fact, are those our two teammates? Are they right there? Those are Frawley and File are the teammates. Let's go to 13th right now. Pittenger being challenged by one of the teammates. Frawley trying to find his way in there. Shawnee's working. Let's see if we can stay on this for a while.
Yeah, and File back there to pick it all up if there's any problem. But Pittenger's been looking for a move here. He's got him to the inside. Pittenger getting it really wide, but gets a really nice run off the exit there. He's going to get a clean run here into the heel.
He is working on. We stay on it. The leaders have come up on some lap traffic. We may want to go there in a minute, but let's stay on this one for a while longer. Let's see if he can get it. Frawley can make that move. Not going to get that done. Let's go up to the leaders right now. Something interesting happening right now.
Yeah.
Eisler and Perez just got around. Now, that is Chris Rode. He's already had an incident. Rode does a good job of, oh no, he gets really close to getting run over there by Duval.
Yeah,
boy,
and
Chris, you can't make the car invisible. It takes up somewhere on the track.
boy, Maciera's got to be breathing a little easier too after he got by that.
So the front five are back. Meanwhile, Eisler, because we go up to the leader, Eisler continues to be hounded by Perez. Eisler was faster in qualifying. He's the pole sitter, but not by a bunch. We're having a bit of a technical difficulty, so Sean, we'll stay on this one. We'll do it old school. We'll do it radio style. Right now, the drivers are working lap number 4. That really doesn't matter. 53 minutes of racing to go. Your leader is Eisler. He works his way into the toe, but Sean, he continues to be pestered by Perez, who's a car length behind him now.
Yeah, Benjamin's really got him in his crosshairs now. Benjamin doing a solid job of putting up a good chase here for Eisler, making him nervous here early. Eisler got some already some traffic, more traffic in front of him here to deal with. Tyler Gore just in front of them.
I can report while that was going on. We're not going to begin it because we're off camera right now. Remember, Richie Pittenger was in that battle? Well, he spun it off the track, so give the positions to Frawley and as well to File. In fact, a lot of cars got by him as well. Back to the front, though, Sean. They work through 11. Now they go down the main straight. About 5 car lengths back is Perez. Perez will gather him up. He'll be really good through 1. He'll be really good through the S's, and then he'll make a stab at him going into the inner loop up there in 5. He's about a car length back. Boy, out of 1, they really push the envelope, don't they? They take it out onto that runoff area that's paved.
And Perez really did that time.
Now
a little bit different line for Perez up through the S's there.
Now they work through the S's, and Perez has a good run. Eisler stays to the left. He's going to leave the inside open. Look at that. I think Perez could have done it if he wanted it. He lays back. He does not force the issue. We talked about it a few minutes ago. This is how they race up here. They do not force it in the front 5. Those front 5, it goes all the way back to Duvall. That gap, 1.5 seconds. It was a little bit. It was 1.8 last time I checked in. Juan Manuel Landini trying his very best, Sean, to see if he can join the front 5.
And Soup, big position change back here for 8th. James LeBlanc continues his move up through the field. Gets by Eric Luke. LeBlanc already into the top 10. He started 12th. And he's screaming right now. Juan Carini, 2.2 seconds ahead of him. And Juan better be careful. Or, I'm sorry, Jean, not Juan. Jean better be careful here looking over his shoulder because LeBlanc is really on the rise right now. His Ferrari hooked up.
You are listening to the Global SimRacing Channel radio network, but now we have our picture back. Welcome back. Open your eyes and enjoy it with all of your senses. Coming next week, we'll be bringing in the smell, scratch and smell. Look at this run here that Perez has, again, as they go down into 1. Boy, he's a lot closer this time. Once again, Sean, I just think Perez is just keeping the hammer on him right now. It doesn't seem like he wants to force the issue. He's so close. Oh, here he comes. If he wants it, he's got a great run through the S's. He's right there now. Now he pulls up, look at the defensive line. This time the Iceman takes the defensive line right down the middle, and look at him pull away.
And he won't be able to pass like that. If he makes that defensive move every lap and he takes away that outside lane for him, it's so hard to make a move into the inner loop there from the inside.
Perez actually looked like he was almost too close through the S's where he couldn't get much of a run after that. I got a hunch, though. My gut tells me that once Benjamin gets around Christian, it's going to be hard for Christian to stay with him. Benjamin's car looked like it's really hooked up. So your front 5 stays the same. Let's go back and check in. Let's look at, let's find a battle a little bit farther back if we can. What do you see, Sean? Oh, we got a spin. Let's go back. It's Rhodes involved in it. Boy,
Chris has more trouble. Actually, I don't think it started with Chris. I think it might have started with James LeBlanc.
Duck into the inside. Well, actually, I think they both kind of did a little synchronized spinning here. Watch this. They make the move. Oh, we don't have we missed it. What happened was LeBlanc was making a dive to the inside of Rhodes, who was a lap down, and they both got loose as if there were actually oil on the track.
You're absolutely right. It was synchronized spinning, Soup. And, well, they both recover from the spin to get back to racing. LeBlanc now under threat, though, for Matthew Fraley. Fraley going to get by out of the chute there.
We can stay on this one. Look at Fraley. Fraley in the yellow car. LeBlanc behind him. That's that Fraley teamed up with his teammate, which would be, it slips in my mind right now, File is his teammate. Both of those yellow cars. We can stay on this one. I can report that the leaders are doing what they do right now, heading down into the inner loop. And once again, Perez makes a dive up in there, but does not make the move. Sean, 50 minutes of racing to go. They go a little bit longer this time. Most of these races are 45 minutes. Today, they add on an extra 15. They give them an extra 10 incident points. Incident points not really a factor unless you're somebody like Eisler and Perez who are trying to be clean and pick up bonus points.
And pick up that very important $75 at the end of the seasons.
Oh, that's right. Look into this battle for 15th position. Oh, my goodness. Now, It really starts up with Cisna up in 13th. He's being chased by Colomb. But back there's Kenning and Schilling involved. A nice 4-car train racing in the back.
And Cisna has marched up through this field in his Ford GT. Soup, he started in 26. Now he's being challenged here by Richard Colomb, though. Boy, challenging him in the chute. Are you kidding me? Whoa!
Nice. They continue side by side. Now the inside position is going to switch, and it goes to Colomb.
Look how hard they're fighting just behind him. Kenning, Pittenger.
Oh, it's going to be 3 wide. Hang on.
Jeez.
Boy, for a minute I thought it was going to be Dorothy, the Tin Men, and the Lion on their way to the Emerald City there. They were almost 3 wide. Schilling gets the best of that when Pittenger and Rodriguez behind him.
This is an angry horde of race cars right here, Soup.
Let's stay on this. I will visually check in on the leaders. They are doing what they do. And we're not going to go there yet. Again, as a Perez just peeking in there, just making the commentators watch with 2 eyes. This is where the action is right here. Sean, my spidey sense is tingling. I hear my mom saying, it's all fun until somebody ends up crying.
Those are all Ferraris there. They're bookended by Fords. You got Cisna at the front, and then at the back of that line, you've got Ralph Connor.
That's the way it should be. Put the pretty cars on the cover. Colomb in 13th, Cisna 14th, Kenning, Schilling, Pittenger. Here comes Lobato making a move on Rodriguez. Great racing back here.
Colomb is the sitting duck right now.
Nothing going on ahead of him. Great battle. Let's look at 17th, and we can report while we're looking at this pass for as Rodriguez gets around Pittenger, that Duval got around Maciera. Now Duval moves up into 4th, but meanwhile this battle continues. As look at this, Pittenger gets it back, but here comes Rodriguez.
Wow, Rodriguez, just a really, really good run out of the toe. Helps him get up the straight. Look, they're sending it. Oh, watch out. Gary Schilling's around. Schilling is around. He tried to send it up into the heel, and it did not work out for him.
He took a move.
All those spots he just lost. Whew.
He took a move underneath Kenning and almost got into the back of Cisna. He took it in there hotter than a curling iron on Venus. Got to vote up, but then the car came around him. Nobody collected him.
Lobato just got by Pittenger. Colomb. Big trouble. He spins it in the... Was that in the 90? No, it was in turn 11. Oh, and he puts it right up against the wall. Everybody coming by.
Yeah, was Cisna gets by Kenning, Rodriguez, Lobato, Pittenger, Connor. By the time he gets that thing turned around, boy, it takes a long time to get the turned around. Yeah. He had gotten away from all the nonsense.
Oh, they're battling up the S's here. Kenning right next to is that next to Lobato? Yes, Lobato and Kenning side by side now on the back stretch. Lobato going to go in first. Kenning forced to really lift while other cars got by him. There was that Pittenger got by him, and Pittenger drops Kenning also.
As much as we love to cover this excitement back here, we're going to touch base real quick with the leaders. Got a little bit to report. Nothing going on up front. It is still the Iceman, Christian Eisler, leading Perez. Perez continues to do what he does, his pestering and poking, prodding, looking for Eisler to make a mistake. Remember, there's a pit stop. These guys have distanced themselves now. They are 5 seconds ahead of the next driver, which is Sergio Maujo. Maujo not even close to being with those guys, but he's being pressured. Look at this. Here comes, behind him, it's Duval. Remember, Duval had just got around Maciera. Duval looking to get that podium spot. And what I want to talk about, Sean, is the driver in 6th. Juan Landini continues to get in. Now it's only, well, it's about 2 seconds back to Maciera. He lost a little bit of time.
Yeah, Soup, he did. He lost a little bit of time, about 2 seconds down to Maciera. But Juan is up one spot, still having a good drive here. He stayed out of trouble. And they're not that far ahead of him. He'll be okay here.
Yeah, our director thinks that Landini maybe had a problem going into one. That's why he lost some time. And now we look at it. We're going to see if we can get a replay. We're going to cross our fingers, click our heels, and say the magic word and see if our replay will work for us. Here we go. Let's see what we get. Hey, we got a replay. We're on board right now. Riding with LeBlanc. See here now. This is, look at this. Look at that. He does a good job of saving it, though. Now we're back live.
Richie Pittenger just spun it in the inner loop. Right in front of Kelly Thornton, Ralph Connor, and Matthew Cisna. And Cisna now having trouble out of the carousel.
This is classic American iRacing Tuesday Series racing right now, with all the action back here in the back and the guys up front all behaving. I'm telling you, I have to check in. We're going to do our best to catch the pass that Perez is going to make on the Iceman. Can we go there? I think he might be doing it this time. Here he comes. I think this might be legitimate. Perez alongside. Now he pulls up. They are on their way to the inner loop, but he's going to be on the outside, so Benjamin has to back out. Again, Sean, I think it's more of a just a I'm here type thing, just bothering the Iceman, trying to make him melt.
A little further back, James LeBlanc just gets by Mark Fowle down the front straight into the 90. That puts LeBlanc up to 11th.
Trying to make up for that mistake that he just had. Let's check in on third, jump you around a little bit. This is Maujo, and here comes the guy who's on the move, Kenny Duval. Remember, Duval did a good job. He got around Maciera, and now he's working on the back of Maujo, trying to get onto the podium.
On board with Maujo, looking right out the back wing there.
And Sean, you just talked about LeBlanc. He just nosed it into the wall, and he's taken the toe.
Wow, that was a hard trip out of the inner loop there. Just misses his exit, and he noses it right into the tire barrier. And yeah, like you said, he had to take the toe. Back to the action here, though. Maujo still holding off Kenny Duval.
Now, Duval's been coming. He qualified 5th. He vultured 1 position when the driver in 3rd, Francisco Montini, disconnected on the pace lap. And then he was able to get around Maciera on the track, and now he is working to see if he can get Maujo. Sergio wants none of it. He'd really like to get that final podium spot. Sean, up front, they start with the same amount of fuel. That doesn't mean they burn the same amount of fuel.
Right.
Eisler has been doing all the work. Perez has been behind him for the 20 minutes that we've been racing. If the draft means anything, you got to figure that Perez is going to be able to take a little less fuel when they go in there. They come up. Let's stay on the leaders right now as they work up on the back of Hugo Galles. Galles is the last car on the lead lap. This is a legitimate pass for being lapped. It's not like he had any problems, and Hugo does a good job of keeping it straight and slowing down.
Hugo has been in the pits once already, Soup. He did get in trouble off the start, and unfortunately he has gotten in trouble since then, because it looks like he's got some damage on the right side of the car. So
he does.
Certainly off pace right now, but Hugo trying to hang on here.
Yeah, the passenger side seems to be a little bumpy. That'll buff out.
That's what I thought.
Maujo holding off Duval. This is a good opportunity to maybe highlight some drivers that we haven't talked much about. How about we look at 7th position? This is Juan Carini. Racing all by himself. He has 12 seconds to get up to Landini. About 4.5 seconds back to Deshane in his Ford. There's Carini, a nice run from him. Let's drop back, give that Ford a little bit of screen time, director, because it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Look how low that is. That car, if there was a limbo contest for automobiles, then that one would win.
You think it'd be it, huh?
That's it.
All right, I'll tell you what, since we're going through the field a little bit, let's look at the battle for 14th right now. Sean Kenning, the California driver, trying to hold off Ralph Connor. Both have actually moved through the field pretty well to this point in the race.
Guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. Perez, am I looking at, has Perez? I'm sorry.
He did.
Never mind.
He did. Perez had trouble. He had trouble out of the inner loop.
Yep. He lost it, and he lost a lot of time.
He sure did. That just happened for him out of the inner loop.
Rector has found it. Here it is.
Bad exit, Soup. I think he clattered the curb.
Oh, my. That wasn't just, that
Yeah.
could be, that could have championship ramifications right there. Here's the good news. There is a fast repair, and he's probably, oh man, he's not quite in his pit window yet. We think the pit window is going to be very small.
But you know what? Nah, I think he might be okay here as far as fuel goes, but Soup, he's going to need to get in there quickly. He's not going to opt to do that. He's going to stay on track and try and push this a little bit harder, but Maljo is hot on his tail right now, and Icer is just steadily pulling away. Already, Icer, closing in on 6 seconds, he's almost opened up.
Again, we've been covering this for the entire season. That, again, has been kind of the story. Benjamin Perez, who I think was faster this race if he could have got around Eisler. Perez has been his own worst enemy, and once again, a mistake costs him. And the Iceman has lived up to his nickname. He is a cool customer. Cooler than the other side of the pillow is Christian Eisler. So Perez is in second. Let's give you that gap, 2.9 seconds over Maljo. Oh, and Maljo, what's up with him? Did he have a slowdown penalty as Duval gets around him? Maljo is off pace. Yes, sure enough. He went wide. He went wide coming out of, what was that, the carousel? Let's see where that is.
Did he cut it on the exit of the inner loop there? Or is it out of the carousel here? Let's look at it on the above.
Well, now this is, he's already in fourth, so let's see if this is this it here? Yeah, there it is right there.
Yeah.
Our director found it. Sean, you saw it? Good job. And so that costs him the position. So once again, Duval picks up another spot. What a good race for Kenny.
Well, I'll tell you what, Landini really putting the pressure on Maciera right now. This is going to get interesting here as they make their way out of the last turn now.
And we've been watching Landini. He's been in sixth the entire time, and we keep talking about him closing in. Well, now he's finally got there, looking to get into the top 5.
Oh, boy, and his teammate has a really wide run out there. Woohoo! Mr. Toad's wild ride there in
pushing
turn 1.
Not sure if that's the fastest way around to go all the way out there. Look at the run that Landini has now. He's got a head of steam. He's coming. He goes to the inside now. I think he's going to finish the job even before they get to the inner loop. Sure enough, his teammates waves him by.
Oh, and still a struggle for Maciera.
Well, now he waves him by. He's going to pick up a slowdown penalty. Luckily, he's a long way ahead of Carini, so he's going to be able to hang on to that position.
I think we put a little pressure on those guys there, Sue.
I think so. Let's look at second. Okay, what do you got?
Maljo has trouble just up in front of them. He had trouble in the chute.
So Landini gets him. Maljo now in 5th.
Yeah, he can't afford these mistakes at this stage of the race. Super closing in on the halfway mark, though, and on the backstretch, we got a battle here for 13th. Moises Lobato picks up Connor out of the S's and then makes it happen there, and they get through the inner loop. Give it to Moises Lobato, picking up another spot.
Yeah, but how about a shout out to Ralph Connor Jr.?
Yeah.
My goodness, started dead last, Unless he was sandbagging, my goodness, he is up a ton of positions.
He's having a solid race here, Soup. He is actually our mover of the race.
Let's look and see if his qualifying time was... Yeah, he was... Yeah, I'm not sure. Well, it looks like he was trying to put in a 145. That's legitimate.
Okay, battle just behind them. Now, this is going to be for 15th. Cisna trying to make a move here on Kenning. Kenning holding it down. It's the Ford GT chasing the Ferrari. This is that tricky turn we talk about here as we look back. Turn 9, always an adventure.
Let's go ahead and stay on this one. We don't want to jump you around too much. It's hard to get a feel from the racing if we jump around all the time. So let's stay on this one as they work through the final corner. And let's watch what Matthew Sissa does. Boy, he almost got into the back of Kenny. Oh. And Kenny says, I've had enough of this. Time for me to come in.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be our first scheduled pit stop there for Kenning. So he wants to get out of the traffic, get a clean pit stop, and get away with hopefully no traffic in his... Still battling, though. Pittenger getting by Cisna there.
Cisna drops back into 16th spot. You know, Cisna started right in front of Connor. Another hard charge. Here he comes back, not giving it up. Look at that Ford. Fighting back against the Italian sports car is the Ford, doing what he can. So, Sean, I think the pit window has opened. What's interesting enough is Perez has stayed out there. You know, Perez really nosed it in hard. I cannot believe he is running as well as he is right now. He's still in second. He's about 6.5 seconds back to Eisler, but losing absolutely no time to Kenny Duval.
Cisna had a problem. I'm wondering if it was a connection problem. I saw him blink. I'm not sure what happened. No. Let's try and pick it up on the replay.
Well, he was chasing Pittenger, and then the car just comes around on him right in front of Kelly Thornton. Thornton does a good job.
Yeah.
And how about a tip of the hat to Matthew Cisna, sitting in the middle of the track. Watch this. And now he starts to roll. Just leaves the car locked up in harm's way so everyone can get around him. That is so hard to do, and that is so great. Every fiber in your body is saying, get me out of here.
Yeah, worst spot on the track to spin right there in the chute, Soup, because it's blind. They're coming off of the carousel at full speed. It's blind going down into that turn 6, and what is, again, tough spot to get turned around. Great job by System. Thornton's in.
Thornton comes in. He's the second of our stoppers. Well, there's been a few more. Sean Kenning was leading everybody right now. We'll see if Kenning comes around in front of him.
Okay, there we go. There's Kenny Duval's in. Yeah, I think you're going to start to see a mass exodus, really.
Yeah, Duval's our first real front runner coming in. Duval had gotten all the way up into third spot.
John Carini coming around. He's going to pass.
Let's go ahead and give a little love to Christian Eisler. You know what, Sean? As well as things are going for him, he's left his rival behind. But still, Benjamin Perez just sitting in second place.
Yeah, you know? He's still there.
Yeah. Moises Lobato must have just had an incident in the inner loop. We caught a glimpse of it. Yep, he was going in, and he got to put himself in the sand. Got it back out. There's our leader. So Duval is in and out. He's the leader of all the cars who have pitted.
And it was a good, clean pit stop. Oh, here comes Richie Pittenger. Just pulled off. Yeah, it was 44.4 seconds for Duval. That was the bogey, cone to cone. 21.2 in the box.
That means no tires. That's fuel.
Yeah, that's
only.
Fuel only. Yep. Here comes Matthew Cisna.
So Sean
Francisco Montini's in. Here comes Benjamin Perez. Perez pulling off.
Perez went as far as he thought he could go and safely come in, so now he'll come in. Let's go ahead and, this is not going to be all that exciting, but let's watch Perez and see if we can tell if he takes a new car. We should be able to tell that if that's correct, right, Director? The car should blink on us, we think? Okay. Let's look right here and see if the new car comes. And there you have it. New car.
You only need one stop to finish the race. I don't know why you wouldn't take it. It doesn't.
Yep.
It doesn't give you any advantage to not take it. So.
Yeah, if you're going to have an incident now, I mean, you're going to have to come in and take another pit stop. You're going to fall down the order anyway. Yeah.
So we've got a lot of cars up front that are still kind of calculating when they're going to come in here, Sue.
Perez, if we go to Perez real quick, Perez came out right next to a driver we haven't talked much about, Lucio Vargas, got just around him. This is important now because Perez is still hot lapping. The question is, did Perez get out in front of Duvall? That would be the incident.
He did. Gap. Yes, he did. Yep, he did, Soup. Perez.
Oh, by a ton.
Yeah, and well, I mean, he almost 7 seconds better.
Yeah.
In his stop.
Boy. Yeah, you look at that. You look at that time. Duvall was in there for 21.2. Perez in there for 14.6. That's not cone to cone. That's in his box.
Well, you know what we don't know because we weren't watching it. You know, did Perez? Is it possible that he missed? You know, I don't know. Did he have to back up? Did he go? Who knows?
No.
Did he stop short?
Well, Perez was really fast though. His time was 14.6, so that's why. Oh, you're talking about Duvall. Maybe Duvall made a mistake.
Duvall, yes,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Talking about Duvall. Yeah, my bad.
Well, we'll see how it fits out because Masiera will be a good indicator for Duvall because Masiera was right in the mix, racing with just a few seconds behind Duvall.
Yeah,
so Masiera.
Jean Carini's going to follow him in, Sue.
So let's go ahead and pick up Duvall right now. We'll let the leaders go by. I'm sure they're going to get by. Duvall just coming out of 11 right now. Looks like he's going to be okay with Masiera.
Yeah, he should
pass
pass
the start-finish line. Yeah, I think we're okay. Oh, here comes Masiera rolling, and there goes Duvall well by. Guys who have yet to come in, the Iceman, Maujo, Landini, Danny Duchesne.
Files in. Mark Files just pulled off. He's getting into his box now.
What about his teammate? Matthew Frawley stays out there.
Eisler just getting out of turn 9. Now in 10. Could this be the lap here?
26 minutes of racing to go. I don't see why not, but he says nobody in front of me. I'm going to keep racing until I come up on somebody, and he might run up on the back of Gary Schilling. Schilling right now in 17th, well, racing in, I guess, 17th spot.
Bowser's going to keep digging. So is Landini.
17th is his car number. Schilling yet to pit. Perez, Duvall, Masiera, the three drivers who have pitted. That's the order they race in. Carini and File. Top 5 of all the cars who pitted. We wait for the pit window to cycle through.
I don't know what Eisler's pit strategy is, but it better be a good one because Perez, Soup, coming in a couple laps ago, I think this served him well. He is the fastest car on track that last lap. He is really burning him down right now.
Just under 40 seconds is the bogey time. That's interesting. With stops running about 38 seconds from cone to cone. Duvall's stop was 40 seconds from cone to cone. This will be interesting to see.
And they're separated by just about 40 seconds on track. So
let's look at Eisler right now as he hit. Maujo has had an issue.
He
there
has.
We see it.
Oh, and that wasn't just a small issue. That was a big issue. Yikes. He's going to lose it down in the heel. Just go sliding off the track and into that tire barrier. Oh, boy. He'll get through the tough one. okay here out of the chute, but it all goes wrong down the hill here, Sue.
He's had that's not his first incident. He's been fast, but once again, you got to bring it to the end. Gary Schilling gets out of the way, makes change for Christian Eisler to go around. Schilling comes in for his stop. The gap to Perez, 39.5 seconds. That's between Eisler and Perez, who races in fourth.
Yeah, Maujo does the inevitable. He is down pit lane.
Still in third, although he's going to lose a spot. Perez is going to get him. He's going to fall down. I think Duchesne is going to get him, but Duchesne has yet to pit. He'll be able to take that new car, and Lord knows he needs it. He got his money worth out of that one, treated it like it was a rental.
Lucio Vargas is down the pit lane now.
Last lap for Christian Eisler, a 1:43.1. For Perez, a 1:41.6. A second and a half faster. Yes, Sean, I'm beginning to worry a bit about the Iceman getting in and out.
Problem, though, for Perez. He is now coming up on some traffic that he's going to have to get through here, and Richie Pittenger and Gary Schilling, both, of course, that have been in the pit. Okay, so far so good there. Actually, Pittenger going to get right out of the way. Benjamin doesn't have to change his line at all. Hopefully he'll get the same courtesy here from Gary Schilling.
Or Schilling, knowing that when he pulls over, he's got to be careful. He wants to be able to pull over, but without letting Pittenger get around him.
Soup, do you ever want to call him Gary Shanley?
I do. I'm
okay,
trying not to.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. Gary Shanley. Oh, my goodness, that Perez almost got into the back. And look at that. See, that's what happened. Schilling loses his spot now as Pittenger gets around him.
That was really close for Perez right there. That could have been an ender. Nice.
If we can go to Eisler real quick, he just got around Tyler Gore, who just had an off. Mark Feil behind him. Eisler continues to stay out there. He's worked his way around Feil. The gap now, remember, Perez got into trouble, so the gap, it's down to 30, under 39 now.
And look who's gone up to fourth and has passed Danny Duchesne and Matthew Fraley in the pits. Kenny Duval, Soup. Kenny now a bigger factor than ever in this race. Duchesne is in.
Brings in his Ford. We're still waiting for Juan Manuel Landini. He's racing in second. Remember, Landini spent most of this race in sixth trying to run down the guys in front of him. He was closing in on him. It'll be fun to see where Landini cycles out after this pit stop. Eisler, Landini, Fernando Rodriguez, and Ralph Connor Jr., the only four cars yet to pit. Connor's in, so 3.
Eisler going to keep digging out front.
Okay, now if you're thinking at home, I got to run this past you because it's one of the fallacies that people think about. The longer Eisler runs, you're all thinking the longer he runs, the less fuel he needs, right? No, they start with the same amount of fuel, so they all need the same amount of fuel as whether they take it early or take it late. If you go into work and you get in there, you pull your... Oh, look at this, Eisler, what has happened?
I don't know, really slow up to the S's. I wonder if he is... He can't be out of fuel.
He can't be out of fuel, can he?
He is really slow. He's through the safety cones now. Something's going on with Eisler. Something has gone wrong for Christian Eisler. Soup, maybe he is out of fuel.
I see nothing wrong with the car other than it's going slow. Maybe we can go on board and listen and see if we can hear it sputter. Right on board now. Oh, it sounds like a fuel issue. My goodness.
He went too far.
Sean.
He went too far. That's not my... Hey, I'm up here with you. I'm up here with you. It's not my fault.
The commentator's curse only goes so far. I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Well, here comes Perez.
Well, that moves is Perez now moves to the lead. Now, well, he hasn't got him yet.
No, he hasn't got it. And Eisler is still rolling.
Oh, he's gonna struggle just to get there. He comes up now. Montini behind him. That's his teammate going by, right? Well, Montini should have stayed behind and given him a push before he gets there.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well, all right, Perez is going to get by Ralph Connor back in turn 9. I mean, I just don't know how to put this. Perez is going to go to the lead. That's it.
Eisler made it.
So with 18 and a half minutes to go, Benjamin Perez is going to go to the lead. For the first time today, Christian Eisler still rolling into his box very slowly.
As he makes it in there. Why, oh why, is the question. Rings round Saturn, my gosh.
Mr. Perez is going to have to be on point here. Sue, he needs that focus now, doesn't he? We don't need to see one of those mistakes.
Well, yeah, when Perez put it in the wall, I said, well, there's championship ramifications there. Well, let me, if that was championship ramifications, this running out of fuel, this, come a couple races from now, Eisler is back out, sitting in 5th. Now he's just got to see what he can do to mitigate the damages. He's on back behind Masiera right now. The Iceman, if this is possible, has to be fuming. I don't know my states of matter if that is possible or not, but
well, you know, this has opened up the podium for Kenny Duval, who would come out after that great pit stop that he took. He was the earliest guy to go in out of this group, and Kenny, boy, what a great strategy call for yourself as Eisler gets by Masiera.
Even better than that, let's go to the driver in second. We talked about it. Juan Landini was racing in 6th the entire race, trying to get up to the boys. I said, it'll be interesting to see how he fares once the pit stop is done. Well, he's jumped everybody. How can that be? Well, how about a 13.7 stop in the box?
Just about as perfect a stop as you can execute.
3rd fastest stop of anybody. Landini did a 13.5. File did a 12.9. So that's how you pick up those positions. So talk about some great Landini with a great drive and Duval with a great drive.
Did we call him the Great Landini? Just a thought.
The Great Landini. Oh, yeah, that was gonna stick.
Maggio gets by Masiera. So Maggio's still out there putting some work in, buddy. He gets another spot.
Masiera going into the pits. Not sure why that is. So now Eisler has worked his way up to port.
Lobato. Trouble for Lobato out of the 90. Car got really tight on him, and he bends it. Tough break for Lobato. All he's done is back up this race. That's been a tough one for him. He's got James LeBlond all over his bumper right now.
Yeah.
Here it is on the replay. Yeah. We'll see it. Trouble for Lobato. It looked like the car got tight.
Yeah, he tries to make the pass, and he bangs it in there. Yeah. And then it doesn't get any easier for him as he cycles out in 18th position with James LeBlond right behind him. All right, let's catch our breath with 15 minutes of racing to go.
Oof.
We have Perez out in front by a whopping 14.2 over Juan Landini. Landini, the great Landini, up 5 spots from 7th to 2nd. I worry about fuel, though. I don't want to be chicken little. The sky is falling. But boy, his pit stop time was awfully fast. Then Sean, it's Duval in 3rd. He's made his way up to the podium. But here's what's interesting. 3.4 seconds from Duval back to Eisler. Eisler's job now is to minimize the damage.
Yeah, he's already starting to catch Duval. And boy, Duval's run such a good race here. He's going to have to get a little more out of it here over the next 14 plus minutes. Because, he is on his way. The Iceman cometh.
3.2 seconds. We'll check back in on that one in a little while. I don't think it's going to be that little of a while. How about this guy in 5th position? Sergio Pismaggio. Man, he's had a certainly had an eventful first half of the race until he got his free corner. Let's see if he can. There aren't any more, so let's see if he can keep this one behave a little bit and bring this one home a little prettier.
Soup in sixth. It's Sean Carini. He started
Quiet
ninth
sixth.
today. Yeah, it's pretty quiet indeed. Yep. And he stayed out of trouble doing it. So good job here by Jean Carini. Danny Duchesne been up and down the field, up 9 spots in the 7th right now.
Right in between Duchesne and Carini on the track is this great battle. Can we go to 17th? This is Lobato and LeBlanc, and I guess Lobato has finally got around him now. Well, actually, it's been that way. LeBlanc is still running him down. Now Lobato has a little bit of a move. Moises should be faster.
I like Lobato better.
Lobato.
That's
That's what happened if they would have a kid.
Lobato goes a little bit wide there. Yep.
Just to round out your top 10 real quickly, we'll leave that one. Very quiet run for Lucio Vargas in 8th. He's got about 8 seconds back to Matthew Frawley. We saw Frawley mix it up a little bit early. It's a little more peaceful for him right now. Racing in 9th. And then rounding out your top 10, another quiet run, Fernando Rodriguez. Down a couple spots. Qualified in 8th, racing in 10th. There's your top 10. Sean, look at what's going on in 3rd.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, Iser is got it down another second here.
Not the worst thing. And Duvall
Kenny makes
has
a mistake.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was because he was getting that run on Schilling and he had to adjust, but this is going to be it right here. Iser's going to pick him up out of the carousel down to the chute. Just the important thing for Duvall, don't get rattled here. Try and keep his focus.
And just to talk big picture, what's really interesting about this 3rd place finish from the Iceman with 1 drop race. This might be his drop race. That just goes to show you how effective those guys have been. A 3rd place is I'll just drop that one. That's, my gosh, I wish I had that problems. That's first world problems, huh?
Yeah. Hashtag real world problems.
Yeah, real world, yeah.
LeBlanc finally gets around Lobato. And the leader's catching traffic now. Okay, well, we'll stay on that one for right now.
Here's Duvall. Iceland right behind him. Now they're coming up behind. My goodness, Gary Schilling has sure had his share of having to get out of the way. Let's see how he does. So far, been pretty good at it. He's got 2 guys coming up that are fighting on him. They head down, and that'll work. All right. Well, they get around him. Duvall, that gap, 0.3 of a second. So, does the Iceman have a chance to get to Landini? 6.5 seconds to go behind with about 10 minutes of racing. Sean, I don't think so. I think Landini feels pretty comfortable in 2nd, assuming he has enough fuel.
Right? The big if. We keep contemplating that. Isler looking to the inside. He's going to take it here into the chute.
There it is.
All right, that was a bold move.
Take a look at this one more time.
Yeah, worthy of a GSRC replay.
There you see the spinning GSRC sign as it goes 2-dimensional and 1-dimensional, and there's the pass.
Boom. So Duvall gets kicked off the podium there by Christian Eisler. But folks, this race is not over. 10 minutes to go.
And I'm telling you, Landini's stop has me worried. Don't be surprised if Eisler ends up in 2nd when this is all said and done. Let's go to Landini right now. He's working on behind Ralph Connor. Connor in 12th. He is the car leader of all the cars 1 lap down.
Connor going to let him go. Connor also going to deal with, who's this, Richie Pittenger on the inside of here. That's competition, yeah. Up through the S's, they're going to fight side by side, and Pittenger going to win the first part of that battle for now.
Connor in 12th in the white and blue Ford. Pittenger behind him in the Ferrari. A little bit of, I'm going to say yellow. Well, that's the Ferrari yellow up there. So it's kind of a great call. Oh, here he comes. Pittenger with a good run out of the carousel. Talked about all the different lines you can take it out of there. Now they head into the chute. Across the laces as they head to the toe. Pittenger going to get to the inside in the toe. He's got him. Little huckabuck, a little hokey doke, a little up and under maybe from Connor. Not going to get there as they go down into the sole towards the heel. And let's move Pittenger up into 12th for now as the Ford of Connor has to settle for 13th.
Yeah, I kind of expected Connor to fight back there on the straightaway. The grunt to that Ford GT. I thought he might have a shot to slingshot to the inside there and take the spot back, but no go. Pittenger is off and running. See you later.
Okay, the gap between the Great Landini and the Iceman, how about almost 4 seconds now. He is, Sean, we said it once, it's almost too much of a cliche to say it again, but the Iceman cometh.
I feel like we've stepped into an old NWA wrestling match. The Great Landini and the Iceman. I mean, come on.
Really? You know what? Our director, let's give credit where credit is due. He said, I wonder if Landini
Cessna. Sorry, Cessna spun in the toe right in front of Mark File and Francisco Montini. Cessna gets some pretty good damage on the car because of that.
And then he's able to get the car going straight before the guys got to him.
Yeah, the leader
was
Perez not too far behind that. That was the thing that kind of scared me. He's still safe, but boy, I'm glad to get the car moving there.
Let's check in on Eisler right now. He's in a battle for some reason with Ralph Connor. Ralph, love you, buddy, but Ralph's saying I would like to get back up. I think he wants to get back up to Pittenger there. And probably the fastest way to Pittenger is get behind the Iceman and just follow what he does.
Right, follow, exactly. It really did help out Landini's suit.
Yeah, Eisler was coming. Now we'll have to do again. The interval, 3.9 seconds, with just over 6 minutes of racing to go. Duvall not that far back either, as he needs to get around Connor. Duvall racing in fourth.
Soup, but I think they got about 3.5 laps left in this race, to be honest with you. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now.
3.6 seconds, boy. I really think... Yeah, even with the traffic, 0.3 faster with the traffic. Landini, he could just be minding the gap. Or, boy, it's 3.5 seconds with, what do you think, about 3 laps to go? Plenty of time. Our director's going to put us in the cockpit of the Great Landini, and you guys listen. See if you can hear him maybe short shift or maybe roll the car into the corner. I'm going to be quiet coming here. Well, we're not hearing anything. This could be pace. 3.4 seconds. Eisler in third. All this going on behind the defending champion. 19 seconds to the good is Benjamin Perez.
Well, if I am Juan Landini, I am dropping in my favorite Avicii dance mix, and I am rolling, baby, here to the finish. I am focused on the track in front of me, and I'm not even worried about Christian Eisler right now. I am just digging for every stretch of track I can get. Forget about him and worry about the track. It's going to be 3 laps to go across the line here for Landini. I really think he can get this done.
Let's go to 7th real quick. This is Danny Duchesne being pressured by a guy we have not seen much, Lucio Vargas. Duchesne out in front. Behind them is the car of LeBlanc. And let me correct myself. Yeah, that's Deshane trying to hold off there. Vargas isn't coming. We'll keep an eye on this one. One of the best races in there. Meanwhile, oh my goodness, Landini, it's down to 3 seconds.
Still think he's got this. I still think he's got this.
Deshane racing in 7th. He started in 16th, so having a great run. 15th to 8th for Vargas.
Several drivers in this field really having great drives today. Deshane, Vargas, File, Pittenger, Connor. I mean, really good portion of this field. Really picking up a lot of good positive positions today.
Talking about File, we look at him. We talked about the happiness of finishing on the lead lap. I think he's going to do it as Perez is a distance back for him before he gets lapped. So looks like we're going to have 11 cars on the lead lap. 2.3 seconds.
Oh, boy.
The gap from Landini to Eisler. In fact, Eisler can see him now.
Boy, Eisler swinging a big axe right now, taking big chunks out of the tree.
Oh, I wish I could sing the beginning of Frozen when they start cutting the ice.
You're not catching me doing it. I'm sorry. I'm out.
Eisler spins and noses it into the wall. Duvall goes by. The ice has cracked.
Wow.
Now, what can he do? Now he's thinking drop race.
Wow.
Oh my, he was coming. A second place would have just been nothing. That would have just been the way it finishes. My goodness.
And Juan Landini can breathe now, soon.
That's assuming he has enough fuel. And Kenny Duvall, one more time, back up on the podium. What a good run. Interval between Landini and Duvall, 5 seconds plus, and Landini's actually pulling away.
I believe Kenny is in a state of yo right now, Sue.
He is. Google it, boys and girls. Mother's Brothers, state of yo.
He's been yo-yoed on and off that podium several times now. Great job.
I think we're going to get the white flag this time by Perez working his way through 10, coming up behind Cisna. Cisna in racing in 20th.
Boy, Cisna he's up 6 spots, but you got to think he'd want to do over at this point. Been a rough race for him today. Hanging in there, though. He's going to finish this one. Perez with the white flag gets here through the 90. What's up, Sue?
You and I call a lot of series here for GSRC, but I got to admit, this is a great one. This one, for considering it is dominated by 2 drivers, man, it gives us a lot of action. These races never fail to have drama and racing good all the way through. Fun race to call. Good race today, and Benjamin Perez looks like on his way to another win.
Well, I like the cars, Sue. This is a well-balanced series. It's not multi-class, which I love multi-class racing, but I like these single-class events as well. Again, the 4GT, the Ferrari 488, very, very well-balanced cars here that are running together. And our 7th? Danny Deshane, still in 7th. So, again, there's probably should be more 4GTs in the field, but it's still a good competitive race every time out.
We look at our leader, Perez, working his way through the tow right now. Sean, you and I covered the Autobahn series that it's multi-class racing, but it does have these 2 manufacturers in there, the Ferrari and the Ford, and they are very competitive over there. So I think it's just more a matter of taste and just being comfortable in the Ferrari, but the Ford's certainly competitive enough. Our leader, Benjamin Perez, going into 9.
We're seeing some drivers having to come in, Sue. Not good. James LeBlanc is in. Schilling just had to come in for a little bit extra fuel, too.
Just ahead of Perez is Mark File as he works his way through 11. Mark, you're going to get to the checker flag. Unless you're tired, slow down and let Perez go by. You're going to be in the same position. You won't have to work so hard. There's our winner. Benjamin Perez picks up round number 7. How about Landini? 4.6 seconds. The great Landini looks like he's going to get there.
I think so, Soup. I think it's going to be okay, and it's going to be Kenny Duvall right behind him. Duvall coming into 11, going to get out of 11 clean.
Boy, As Duvall had, it'd be interesting to see incidents there if Duvall had one. He had a nice race. Eisler looks like he's going to limp that car home in 4th, coming out of 11.
Actually, well, did Eisler? Yeah, Eisler gets out there and he finishes in front of Maljo. So
Maljo was coming.
Is 5th.
Eisler says, I've had enough. He does no victory lap, no cool down lap for him. John Carini going to come in 6th. Duchesne in 7th, ahead of Vargas. Vargas gave him a run. Couldn't run him down. Vargas going to have to settle for 8th. We'll round out your top 10 before we go to break. Actually, let's do all the cars on the lead lap. There's Frawley in 9th. Fernando Rodriguez working his way through 11 right now, on his way. He's going to round out the top 10. And then the last one is Frawley's and File way back working through 9 and 10. Let's assume that Mark File brings it in. Even if he's abducted by aliens, I think he would still get the 11th position. So with that, the racing is done here on the Global SimRacing Channel, but our broadcast is far from over. We'll take a short break. We'll be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Don't go far.
I'll meet you boys in TeamSpeak here in the bathroom.
Your audience wants to see more of you. They want to see your logo personified, see behind the curtain, see who actually makes up the company, not just another machine that's spitting out content like a machine.
I'm a pretty lucky dad right here.
One of the main surprises to me is how in-depth you guys wanted to go to build a website based off of who we are. So I was extremely impressed with that.
Sanctioned by the Precision Racing League, welcome back to GSRC's coverage of the American iRacing Tuesday Series, Round 7 from Watkins Glen. It's good to be back with you. You know, here up in the booth, we are remodeling the restrooms here in the GSRC broadcast booth, and Sean's in charge of painting. You want to check on that. Sean, how is the paint? Is it okay? Is it drying well?
It's drying very well, Sue. Drying very well. Thank you.
And I'm glad you checked on that one. I know you were in a hurry to check on it. Let's go ahead and run down your finishing order. It is Benjamin Perez. He survives a mistake, gets a fresh car, comes back out, and finishes in the lead. We'll talk a little bit more about this one. How about Juan Manuel Landini? He was being pressured by the Iceman. He's able to hold on for second. Kenny Duvall, we documented the whole race. He comes home in third. The Iceman, I think this one's going to drop, is Christian Eisler, fourth position. I don't think this one's going to be on his final standing. Sergio Maujo, he was racing up front. He finishes in fifth. Jan Carini, Danny Duchesne, and Lucio Vargas go 6th, 7th, and 8th. Rounding out your top 10, Matthew Frawley and Fernando Rodriguez. Sean?
All right, and we'll take the next 10 here. It's going to be Mark Kyle finishing 11th in his Ferrari. Richie Pittenger, 12th place in his Ferrari. And, well, then we got another Ford GT. Ralph Connor with a 13th place finish. Soup, Ralph started 27th today. It's a pretty decent effort. He survives this one for 13th, 14th. Sean Kenning, Richard Colombe finishes 15th. Gary Schilling, 16th. James LaPlante, 17th. 18th, Francisco Montini. Tough race for Francisco. 18th place, 19th, Tyler Gore. And Matthew Cisna, also picking up positive spots today, Soup, will finish 20th.
Chris Thunder Road finishes in the blackjack position, catching 22, Moises Lobato. 23rd and 24th, Kelly Thornton and Sebastian Maciera. In the quarter century, it was Hugo Galles. Behind them, Eric Luke. And rounding out the field, 27th, last on the list, Guillaume Dupont. He has trouble early, finishes 34 laps behind the leader. Okay, Sean, I'll let you have the first interview. Who do you see up there?
Well, Soup, we've got our pick. I'm going to take the winner, and it's
okay. Ben Perez?
Ben Perez. See if I can get our director to move him up in here for us. There we go. Comes. Ben, can you hear me, bud?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. Boy, that victory was not easy today, was it, here at Watkins Glen?
It definitely was not. I'm going to pull a Christian here and say I got lucky this time.
Well, Ben, you needed a little bit of luck, buddy. You had some misfortune, and the racing gods were kind to you. But you still had to wrestle away from Eisler there. Ultimately, got to be feeling pretty good with a big victory tonight.
I mean, overall, yeah, it's good to have the victory. I'm a little disappointed it wasn't a bit of a closer race because those first, I don't know, whatever it was, about 10 laps maybe or so, where I was right behind them, that was really fun.
So, Watkins Glen, certainly a track many are familiar with. What's your favorite part of Watkins Glen?
That is a good question. I would say it's a toss-up between turn 1 and is it called the carousel, I guess?
Yes, the carousel, just out of the inner loop there?
Yes, that corner. Yeah, both of those corners are really fun.
Were tires ever an issue this evening?
I don't think so, no. The tires, with this kind of a track temperature, the tires don't degrade, I think, as much. So tires weren't really an issue, no.
Ben, it's Soup here. As a commentator, you made a rough on me early on when you were right behind the Iceman. You were working on him. Were you playing with him? Could you have forced the issue, or is that all you had early on when you were trying to get around him?
Well, see, the thing is the only corner that I seemed to be getting a good run out of him was turn 1, and the run all the way up to the bus stop.
Right.
And my confidence going too wide through the bus stop isn't the greatest, so I kind of kept backing out of it. So if you want to call that playing with him, then I guess. But yeah, that was kind of all I had for him.
All right, well, congratulations on the win, and there's drop races, so he's not going to pull that far away. You still got some more work to do to get this championship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be some work to do for the next 4 or 5 races we have left, but yeah.
Ben Perez, ladies and gentlemen, your winner today, as we have 4 more to go. Let's go ahead and talk to the driver who finished second, as will somebody, and that's going to be Christian Garreton Eisler. As he comes in there, we have Christian in with us. As he runs out of fuel on the first run, I have his English is poor, so I can go ahead and do this with one word, Christian. Why?
My big mistake. So, I was confused because I was seeing the black box and dual real timing is the software. So it was the readings, the dual real timing was confused, and I was seeing that screen and.
See,
I realized when I was in the straight, so I can't put reverse.
You had too much information was the problem. Too much. Yes, okay, yes. Let's put that behind us. Let's go. Coming out of the pit stop, you still had time to salvage, to lessen the blow. You were running down Landini, and then you made a mistake.
Yes, but because I was totally overdriving at that point. So I was at my limit to catch Juan Manuel, but it's sooner or later it was. But I was so I lost all my concentration after that mistake in the pit stop. So
well. Here's the good news. They allow 1 drop race, so even though this just shows you how dominant you are, how really effective you are, this is a 4th place finish, and if things go the way it's been, you'll probably drop this result.
Yes, I hope this race will be my drop week. I really hope so. And I hope don't make any more mistakes in the rest of the championship.
On the good news, you pick up a bonus point for being on pole, so that's going to help.
Yes, I think I get the pole bonus and the incident bonus. I don't know if it's the fastest lap bonus.
Yeah. So well, we got plenty of time left, so congratulations. We'll watch you for these final 4 races.
Thank you.
There you go. And let me correct myself. This is race number 7. I guess we only have 3 left. 8, 9, and 10. Boy, my goodness, Sean, we're getting there.
Yeah, Soup, we really are. Didn't know we were that close, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
do we have anybody else to talk to?
Kenny Duvall. Let's talk to him. Kenny finishing on the podium tonight. Let's get him in here. Kenny, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing fabulous, fellas. It's been a good night of racing.
I bet it has, man. We were... we never we try not to cheer for anybody, but darn it, Kenny, I was cheering for you. That we said late that you were in a state of you were just yo-yoing up and down the podium there, and well, you get one. How does it feel right now?
It feels pretty good. This is my second one here, and I don't know why this track seems to work for me, but I seem to do okay here versus everywhere else that we go. So it's something about this racetrack.
Would it be fair to say that you've maybe got more laps at this track than any other track, or is it just maybe something else that's special about this place for you?
No, I don't really have any more laps here than I do anywhere else. I can't explain it. I was telling Christian while we were waiting that I don't know why this track makes sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to me too, but you know what? I talk about it all the time when we're here. Turn 9, probably that left-hander, probably one of the trickier turns in all of racing. How does the Ferrari 488 get through there?
It does okay. I tend to be a little tentative on entry because it does when you overdrive it, it just pushes out and washes away, and you can't do that there because you'll just ruin the exit and find some guardrail. But everywhere else where there's camber around this place to help you, and the right hander up the hill on the backside. Those are all good spots for me for whatever reason.
Well, Kenny, this is great momentum heading into next week, man. Another fun road course in Mid-Ohio. You got to be excited about going there now with a podium under your belt here.
Yeah. I got to give my podium speech that is a traditional in motorcycle racing for me. I'd like to thank me for being all the me I could be. And without
great.
me, none of this would be possible.
Get him out of here. That's it.
No, he stoked my fire. Now, Kenny, what do you ride?
I ride. I'm actually retired now, but when I was actively racing, I was campaigning an '89 VFR 400. Beautiful little Honda V4.
All right. So, Kenny, so any of the tracks on iRacing that you may have run at one time or another?
Road Atlanta's my home track. I live about 40 minutes from Road Atlanta, so I got tons of laps there. Barber's another good track for me. I got tons of laps there. VIR is another good one that I've been on. Has never been a really friendly racetrack to me. When I go racing, I tend to destroy equipment when I go there, but can't do good at all of them.
Road Atlanta on a bike. What's it like going down through the S's, down the hill, and then turn 5, that left-hander there?
The off-camber right-hander there is, the roller coaster is really fun. The off-camber right-hander, if you don't get it right, is good for snapping a collarbone multiple times.
Ouch.
And then, the old, before they removed gravity cavity there was absolutely amazing. It's the new bus stop is okay, and the new run down the hill is okay. But it's just not quite the same as it was.
Well, man, listen, congratulations. Great run tonight. Enjoyed talking to you. Certainly always happy to talk a little motorcycle racing here on GSRC. Of course, we don't cover any, but a lot of motorcycle racing fans out there. I've always said that the guys who ride on two wheels and race, they're a little bit different breed. And I won't use the other part of that expression. But anyway.
It's a little bit different when you're outside the cage.
Yes.
You actually have all of the group that runs with me: Matt Fraley, Richie Pittenger, Sean Kenning, Gary Schilling, Kelly Thornton, Richie Pittenger, Mark Filed. Those are all motorcycle racers. Everyone.
Oh, wow. Well, soup. There's some info right now to play with.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why we do these interviews. Good news.
Some of us are retired. Some of us are still active. Some of us are still circulating, but everybody rides.
That's good to know. Well, listen, hey, keep it out in the wind, brother, and we will see you next week.
You boys have a good night. Thank you for rooting for me.
Well, that's going to do it for almost everything. This is what makes this broadcast possible. First of all, let's thank everybody at the Precision Racing League for organizing the American iRacing Tuesday Series and for contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. Boy, we sure do enjoy doing that. Also, to our race sponsor today, HFD1 Motorsports. Check them out on Facebook. Sean?
And Sue, the American iRacing Tuesday Series returns next week, May the 8th, for the Blue Icon Photography Round 8 from Mid-Ohio. GSRC will be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen now are some upcoming... Oh, I think... Sue, did I get a hold of myself here?
I'll take it from here, you rookie.
I messed it
you
up.
Go look, check out the paint in the bathroom. We'd like to thank Apex Button Boxes. They're the winner of the series will be awarded a 16-function button box courtesy of Apex Button Box, affordable, reliable button boxes for those who don't have time or material to make their own or skill. Visit them at facebook.com/Apex Button Boxes. Also, to Transdo Transport and Logistics, sponsoring the Transdo Cup. The driver with the fewest incidents at the end of the season will get $75, courtesy of Transdo, a professional transport service on a flatbed-type trailer with loading ramps, deck lengths of 40 feet, and 20,000-pound capacity. My gosh.
20,000?
20,000. You could move a church, I think. Visit them at transdo.ca/home. Then, thanks to the company's equipment or software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast, the iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC Productions come courtesy of Eric Eckelman, Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. Now, why don't you do this part here?
I got this, Sue. I got this, okay? I promise. Listen, folks, we are professionals here. I promise you, okay? Join us next week, again, on May the 8th for the Blue Icon Photography Round 8 from May 8th for Round 8 from Mid-Ohio. GSRC is going to be there to bring you all the action. Please join us then, all right? Now, sliding across your screen now are some of the upcoming broadcasts. Check those out. Mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, well, you can get that on YouTube on our page, or you can find it at our website, globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on social media, Twitter, at GSR Channel, Facebook, just / Global SimRacing Channel. Put that in the search bar, you'll find us. We're on Instagram, GSRC_Graham. Folks, subscribe to this channel now by hitting that big red button. If you haven't done it already, we appreciate you.
Finally, on behalf of the man whose voice you just heard, Sean Ambrose, our director Joe and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, you know where we're going. We're off to have fun, storm of the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.